have you ever stopped to wonder, what if water couldn't freeze? What if ice simply didn't exist? It sounds like a simple change, but this one little tweak to the laws of physics would unravel our world in ways you can't even imagine. Stick around because we're about to dive into a world without ice. And trust me, it's a lot stranger and more terrifying than you think. First, let's get the big one out of the way. The polar ice caps. Gone. Vanished. All that frozen water in Antarctica and Greenland would melt and pour into our oceans. We're talking about a sea level rise of over 60 meters, or nearly 200 feet. Say goodbye to coastal cities. London, New York, Shanghai, Miami, Amsterdam, Rio de Janeiro. They wouldn't just be flooded, they'd be completely submerged, becoming modern-day Atlantises. Millions of people would be displaced, leading to the greatest refugee crisis in human history. The world map as we know it would be completely redrawn. But the chaos doesn't stop at the coast. The oceans would be fundamentally broken. Our global ocean currents, the planet's circulatory system, are driven by a process called thermohaline circulation. A key part of this is cold, dense, salty water sinking at the poles. But how does that water get so cold and dense? By forming sea ice. When seawater freezes, it pushes the salt out, making the remaining water saltier and denser, causing it to sink. This sinking action is like a giant plunger that drives currents around the globe, distributing heat and nutrients. Without ice, this process grinds to a halt. Ocean circulation would become sluggish and chaotic. Tropical regions would get hotter and hotter, while higher latitudes would, ironically, get colder, as warm currents no longer reach them. Marine ecosystems would collapse. Plankton and krill, the foundation of the marine food web, rely on the seasonal melt of sea ice for nutrients. No ice, no food. This would trigger a chain reaction of extinction, from the smallest fish all the way up to whales and sharks. The oceans would become stagnant, stratified dead zones. Back on land, things aren't any better. Think about mountains, those majestic snow-capped peaks. Well, no more snowcaps. Mountain glaciers are like natural water towers, storing winter precipitation as ice and releasing it as life-giving meltwater during the dry summer months. Billions of people and countless ecosystems rely on this steady supply for drinking water, agriculture, and hydropower. Without glaciers, you'd have massive, catastrophic floods in the spring as all the rain runs off at once, followed by devastating droughts for the rest of the year. Rivers like the Ganges, the Indus, and the Yangtze would become unreliable, seasonal torrents, threatening the food and water security of a huge portion of the world's population. And what about the weather? Ice and snow have a high albedo, meaning they're really good at reflecting sunlight back into space. This helps keep our planet cool. Remove all that reflective white surface and replace it with dark, absorbent ocean and land. The planet would start soaking up a lot more solar energy. This would send global temperatures skyrocketing far beyond our current climate change concerns. We'd experience extreme heat waves, more powerful and frequent storms fueled by the warmer oceans, and completely unpredictable weather patterns. The delicate balance of our climate would be shattered. Let's bring it down to a more personal level. How would your daily life change? Forget about ice skating, skiing, or building a snowman. Those are gone forever. Your cold drink on a hot day? It's just a cool drink now. The entire frozen food industry, which relies on ice to preserve and transport goods, would need a complete overhaul. Medical procedures that use cryopreservation or even just a simple ice pack for an injury would be impossible. Even the ground beneath our feet would change. In vast regions of the northern hemisphere, the soil is held together by permafrost, permanently frozen ground. Without ice, this permafrost would thaw, releasing colossal amounts of trapped methane and carbon dioxide, greenhouse gases far more potent than what we're currently emitting. This would create a runaway feedback loop, making the planet even hotter, faster. The thawing ground would also become unstable and marshy, causing buildings, roads, and pipelines to collapse. Even the shape of our planet is influenced by ice. During ice ages, the sheer weight of the ice sheets pushes down on the Earth's crust. When the ice melts, the land slowly rebounds. This process, called isostatic rebound, is still happening today in places like Scandinavia and Canada. In a world without ice, this geological dynamic just stops. The very ground beneath our feet would behave differently. And we can't forget life itself. Many animals, from polar bears and penguins to Arctic foxes and seals, are completely adapted to a world of ice. For them, it's not just a habitat, it's their hunting ground, their breeding ground, their entire world. Without ice, they would face swift extinction. The beautiful, intricate patterns of snowflakes, a thing of the past. The satisfying crunch of frost under your feet on a cold morning, a forgotten memory. The simple process of water turning into ice is a cornerstone of geology, biology, and climatology. So, a world without ice isn't some tropical paradise. It's a world of drowned cities, dead oceans, extreme weather, and widespread ecological collapse. It shows us just how incredibly interconnected everything on our planet is, and how a change to one seemingly simple rule of nature can have devastating consequences. The existence of ice is a fundamental pillar of our world's stability. It regulates our climate, shapes our landscapes, and underpins countless ecosystems. The fact that water expands when it freezes, making ice float, is one of the most miraculous and important anomalies in chemistry. If ice were denser than water, it would sink, and our oceans would have frozen solid from the bottom up eons ago, likely preventing complex life from ever evolving. So next time you drop an ice cube into your glass, take a moment to appreciate it. That little chunk of frozen water is a quiet hero, a silent guardian of the world as we know it. Thanks so much for exploring this wild thought experiment with me. If you enjoyed this journey into a world without ice, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Until next time, Remy signing off. Stay safe and stay curious.